Join me for my installation journey to get 16-bit audio into my Amiga 2000 and get some MPEG 3s playing from a zip disk.
You shouldn't have to bang it on top like the font.
The MNT ZZ9000AX is an audio expansion for the MNT ZZ9000. MNT never cease to amaze me with the level of detail they go to with their packaging. The package includes the ZZ9000AX card itself, a stainless steel slot bracket and mounting screws and nuts. Also all the cables required to connect it to the ZZ9000 graphic card. One of the first things we need to do is remove the ZZ9000 from my Amiga 2000 case. Also, I've been having concerns about the amount of heat this hard drive is kicking out. You'll actually notice that the card is now in a different slot to it was originally, and that's down to the heat from that hard drive. For aesthetics, it would have been nice if this card had been available in black. The instructions are fantastic, it provides full colour pictures. The hardware installation itself is as simple as attaching the bracket, connecting the data cables and the internal audio cable. Using the pictures as a guide, it's quite easy to get the orientation of these correct. The SigmaDSP audio chip on the ZZ9000AX is an Analog Devices ADAU1701, featuring a 28, 56-bit, 50 MIPS SigmaDSP for digital audio processing. And there we go. That's the ZZ9000AX all hooked up. All we have to do now is put it back into the Amiga. Because I've learnt not to put the top back on my Amiga before I've got it working, let's get the drives installed while we're still on the bench. Well, the Amiga boots, that's a good start. Put my external Gotek on. Using the ZZ9000 installer utilities disk, running ZZ Top shows that the ZZ9000AX is in fact present. Installing the drivers is pretty simple. Just follow the on-screen instructions and install the drivers that you want. This package includes everything for the retargeted graphics, the network card, the ZZ9000AX. This also includes hardware MPEG 3 decoding. Because I'm going to use a zip drive in this video, I'm going to copy the zip PC from the PPA zip project. Change the device. This should get the SCSI zip 100 drive to work properly. Putting in the same zip disk I used in the last video, I can see worms. So while we're here, let's just take a copy of that. So now we've proved that the zip drive actually works, I can use that to transfer MPEG 3s to test the card with. Software installation, it uses AHI version 4.18. Choose the ZZ9000. Setting up Amiga amp, point it at the MPEG decoder, and we have horrible background noise.
I know that sounds bad.
After a restart, doesn't sound a lot better.
Right, that's bad. Okay.
Turns out it's actually that internal audio. The floor of the Amiga 2000 cable being strewn across the case means there's too much interference to use it. With that internal cable disconnected, you can hear it playing in the background with no horrible hiss. Switching to the direct input, near perfect MPEG 3 audio from Amiga 2000 with a 68030 running at 40 MHz and a couple of ARM Cortex cores. Because it has an auxiliary input on the back using two RCA connectors, jumping those round to the outputs on the Amiga bears fruit. So we now have pass-through audio without using the internal connection. Not ideal. From an audio quality point of view, absolutely superb. Just to make sure, let's check we can still play MPEG 3s with no background noise.
Yay!
In an attempt to solve the heat problem caused by the hard drive, I removed it from the accelerator card and temporarily relocated it. Removing the weight of the hard drive from the accelerator card had an unexpected side effect.
You can hear the drive sticking. You can see the little green activity light on the ZZ9000. Take hand off. Stopped. Pressure on the card slot. Hear it ticking again. So we have dubious connectivity on the CPU port, which I've suspected for a while now. You shouldn't have to bang it on top like the fonts to get it to work.
Well, that'll be a subject for a future video. Why not check this out next?